This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And we are indeed entering into some perilous times. Jacob's trouble is very nigh, and it's fitting that through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, our Apostle Tahar coined this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, man. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakatadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting the fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To all, I want to say shalom. And open prayer this lesson be edifying to the elect. So the times that we're coming into are going to be very dangerous, man. We're going to have Yahawashi as a hedge of protection around us. That's why scriptures talk about, the names of the Lord are a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and are safe. Scriptures talk about how 10,000 men will fall on one side and 1,000 on the other. So these are the times that we're coming into, man. And we can see the workings of it happen right before our very eyes, man. And it's, you can see how strategic these devils are, man. Because, in this other article, I'll read a little bit of it, Lord's will. It speaks about how, the whole thing about defunding the police with the whole George Floyd thing, and and all the, even though these cops are being wicked, but these devils use that situation to take these police, off the force, man. A lot of them are quitting, and through the spirit, especially with what just happened in New York, with the whole migrant thing, and the migrants pretty much going in all these different cities, and a lot of them, certain of them, causing havoc and committing crimes and everything and getting off. They're creating a society of chaos. They're creating a problem, and they're getting the problem reaction solution. They're getting the reaction out of the people, and at the same time, they're basically getting rid of the police, right? They're getting rid of the police, but at the same time, they're introducing military in there. So like the apostles and elders, GMS and like-minded brothers have been saying for years that there's going to be troops, whether it be UN troops, FEMA troops, what have you. But in order to get that to happen, they have to cause these problems. And, this is one of the ways that, they very well could do it. So I'm going to actually play this clip first.
Susan, residents of the
takeaway today.
Yeah, Susan, residents of the city will see a major change in the way police respond. They will no longer respond to calls that aren't considered in-progress emergency. That means calls like criminal mischief, theft, harassment, and most burglary alarms will all be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means residents will file a police report over the phone. Officers will not respond unless it's an emergency. Also, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will be no officers at any of the 6 stations throughout the city. Call boxes that link directly to 911 have been installed for people to use in case of an emergency. And during the overnight shift, there will be as few as 20 officers to cover the entire city. The chief said today the data supports that.
Yes, it's enough to cover the entire city in those hours when we have 8% of the time people are calling. I'm confident in the decisions that we make that it impacts this bureau and the city in a much better way than we have in the past.
Now, the chief also acknowledging today that some of these changes are due to staffing shortages. He's down to 740 officers, well below the 850 they would like to have. Now, coming up new at 5, residents, city council, and the police union all weighing in on these big changes that begin Monday. Live in the studio.
Hey, you heard it, So And we have to keep in mind all of the things that are happening simultaneously. You have massive layoffs, you have inflation, you have as I said, the migrant thing is, crimes, continuing to happen increasingly. People are being desperate, so crimes of theft, at these different grocery stores, and snatch and grabs, and different things that are happening all around the country, and with the migrants, them releasing, catching them, and then releasing them, and allowing and pretty much encouraging this behavior. And now from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., there ain't, you basically can't even, you can call them, but it ain't gonna, they're not gonna show up. And like it showed in that video, it's like Purge, man. And look at this. So this is from the Purge announcement from the movie, and it says,
Listen.
right here, police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning, until 7 a.m. when the Purge, because it was like, hey, they say art imitates life, man. So these devils could very well have been putting this out there as predictive programming, man, because this is what they plan on doing in the first place, man. So we just have to, wait and see, So let me read some of this article. Block, yeah. All right. It says Pittsburgh police are no longer responding to non-emergency calls. Report. It says out of Pittsburgh, reports that police will no longer be responding to calls that are not deemed to be in progress emergencies, meaning theft, harassment, criminal mischief, and burglary alarms will essentially be ignored. Such calls will instead be redirected to an answer machine, according to the report, which also notes that from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., the city's 6 police stations will operate without desk officers present. So there won't even be officers there anyway. There'll just be call boxes. Only around 20 officers will be available for overnight shifts to cover the entire city. The report further notes, stating that the decision has been taken due to understaffing. It says Pittsburgh, I'm just going to jump down. Actually, I'll get up right here. Police Chief Larry has said that he wants to cut the call volume from approximately 200,000 calls per year to about 50,000, and that the changes are necessary. Pittsburgh has essentially been a victim of a defund the police mentality, with the municipal city council having last year approved the budget that called for a reduction in police staffing. Right? So this is all, this is all by design. So let's get another article. So this is from Natural News. It reads, Austin descends into lawlessness following defund the police cuts targeting law enforcement. It says police patrols in the Texas capital city of Austin are waning as a result of the defund the police movement that spread like a virus following the George Floyd false flag riots of 2020. Reports indicate that the Austin Police Department is having trouble keeping staff on board, which we warned was happening at the height of the you see it. In some areas of Austin, entire neighborhoods are going unpatrolled for weeks at a time. Response times for 911 in Austin are also getting longer and longer, leaving residents without emergency help in times of need. Speaking to Fox News, Austin Police Associate President Michael Bullock claimed that Austin is now on the, quote, brink of disaster as law enforcement struggles to keep the peace. Previous councils and leadership have actively worked against our officers and department, which has now put us in a free-falling staffing crisis, Bullock says. Yes, look at this. It says twice now we've had our contract voted down, or it has been allowed to expire each year since 2017. We've lost more officers than we've hired. We had to gut our specialized units and force detectives to work backfill on patrol just to try and respond to 911 calls. No more 911 emergency service. So it says I call 911, and to my surprise, it rang and rang endlessly, only to be routed to a 311 operator for non-emergency. So hey, man, these devils are planning this all out, man. They're planning this all out. So let's get this is the times that we're coming into. This is why we give these warnings, man. So you're gonna have more crime, more lawlessness, as I said in the article, right? Because of all these different things, these unrighteous decrees that these devils have been pushing, not punishing people. They've been releasing prisoners from different jails and prisons and what have you. They've been bringing in emptying out their jails from these other countries I've been hearing different reports of, and they're just coming right into the country and they're not being checked or nothing. So you have all this happening, all this crime, and at the same time, no police. So that's how you can see how this Jacob's trouble is going to be a time such as never been since there was a nation. This is Jeremiah 30:6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turn into paleness. Right? So you're talking about all out chaos where grown men are going to be acting as a woman in travail, man, like a pregnant woman, man. Screaming, hollering, faces turning into paleness. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, and that he is elect of the nation of Israel, man. Let's see, I just want to read some of these, So it says, 2nd Ezra 15, and I'll start at 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Right? So you're talking about all these different plagues, and talking about the plagues that Egypt suffered, ancient Egypt. But this is modern day Egypt, man, because Egypt represents bondage, man. And as the scriptures say, we are yet this day in our captivity, So this place, Babylon, is going to suffer because they touched the apple of the Lord's eye, us Israelites, man. It says, 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, and the modern day sword is a gun. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, right? The governors, the mayors, the city council. They're not going to care about anything that they have to say. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? So in that part, I just want to hop on real quick. So this is another article from the Chicago Defender. It says Chicago Transit Union leader calls for National Guard amid crime concerns. So I'll put all these articles in the scripture box if you brothers want to read them. But it says, 2 days after New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced the deployment of National Guard troops to enhance security on the New York City subway system, the leader of Chicago's largest transit worker union called for a similar action in Chicago. So it goes into what the New York governor did, how they're got the national troop over there checking people's bags and increased surveillance because of the crime, right? So this is how they will be able to implement checkpoints. A man should desiring to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because they'll have different checkpoints, man. Or it just will be that violent over there that you just, won't even be able to go over there. They'll have, roadblocks of however the Lord sees fit to let it play out. It says 2nd Ezra 15 and 18. But, I just wanted to bring out that article. Just read it, because you can see how the defunding of the police quitting, and now the replacement of army, basically the army troops, and and different troops that they're gonna have, and eventually, we've seen last year they moving tanks around and moving army vehicles all around, so you can see how all of these things are playing out. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices, man. So this migrant crisis is a huge piece to implement, all these martial law. Basically, that's what we're headed to. This is where we're headed to. The police won't be able to do anything because there's not enough of them. So they're gonna say we have to implement martial law because there's too much chaos going on in the streets. Point blank, but you're gonna see. We can see the writing on the wall, so to speak. It says, 2 Ezra 15 and 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. There's not gonna be, no one to call on, man. The only ones that are gonna be able to have that hedge of protection is, the men and the women that Bahasham Yahawashi is dealing with. The ones that call on the names of Yahawah and Yahawashi in truth and sincerity, man, that will receive that hedge of protection, that will be protected in these times, man. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. So this is the time that we're coming into, man. Hell on earth, man. This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And that mark is a spiritual mark, which is Tawah. The Hebrew word is Tawah, which means exemption from judgment. So here we are, we're coming, the Passover is coming up, and we're hoping to have the blood of the Lamb, Yahawashi, blood cover us, so judgment will be exempt from judgment, man. So judgment will pass over us and our households, man, because major judgment is coming, man. It says, 5th verse, and to the others that don't have the law, that exemption from judgment, right? And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, man. So it's about to get bad out here, man. The only ones that are going to be protected are the ones that got that the wall, man. This is Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished, man. So you're talking about basically a Book of Eli or Purge type situation, man, where just whatever goes, man. Because they, as they keep, doing these things, they're encouraging, the ones that do mischief, these different criminals and these wicked spirits that are out here. They're emboldening them to do more things, and more brazenly, out, in broad daylight and what have you, robberies, murder, whatever they feel, GRAPEs, on different, women and what have you. So I mean, you're talking about a terrible time, man. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble for a reason, man. Because Jacob's gonna have to go through it. But it says, Jeremiah 30 and 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he, the elect of the nation of Israel, shall be saved out of it, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to do a lesson on that. Jacob's trouble was very near civil unrest. There's a lot of things happening, which is a sign of the times that our Lord and Savior Yahawashi is very nigh to come, man. As the scriptures say, lest the days, the Lord shorten the days, lest if the Lord didn't shorten the days, there'll be no flesh left to be saved, man. You know, because these devils are causing all out chaos, and we can see it brewing up as we speak, for lack of a better word, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope and pray that this lesson was edifying to the elect. You know, once again, I want to thank Bahasham, Yahawashi, for putting spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning. Fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. Salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. I say a Bible ball and Kwam Yashua. Hey, shalom. See you next one.